Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at theDove.us. Okay, we're back, and our guest today is Bob Sergi. He's a Lieutenant Sheriff in the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, and he is running for the top job as Jackson County Sheriff. Bob, nice to have you.
Thanks for having me, Perry.
I see your signs all over the place.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Yes, it is.
Well, why are you doing this?
Well, I worked for the Sheriff's Office for the last 4 years, and I saw a real need in new leadership, and I was asked by many of the employees to step up to the plate, and so I did.
Okay. Jackson County Sheriff, pretty well developed. Just the department. You got a lot of things going on over there.
We do.
And you are in the what? The investigative department?
I'm actually assigned to corrections right now.
Corrections. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So. And you work all night?
Yes.
Well, what are some of the changes you want to do?
Well, I think we lost our focus on law enforcement. For one thing, we've depleted our patrol staff to a point where it's a hardship on our patrol deputies. They're at a point where, because of staffing, they're just going call to call and not able to be proactive. So everything's a reactive response.
Okay. Any other areas of concern? I mean, seems like you've had some growth in the department. Got a new jail. That's quite something, isn't it?
We had an addition to the jail.
Addition to the jail.
Yeah, we added 62 beds downstairs, and
you got some counties that can't even fund their department, and you got extra jail space.
And we got a lot of help from that from the community justice system. They're funding a lot of that for their programs, which is a good deal. Until now, we have not had any type of programs to keep people from reoffending.
Okay. So you're saying that there's a lack of patrol?
Yes, there is.
So is that kind of like a budgeting priority? How do you fix that problem?
Well, I think we can use the people we have better. We've got some reorganization to do, and I know I can add 4 patrol deputies to patrol staff without increasing the budget.
So the biggest need is in patrol, and what are you seeing in the way of patrol? I mean, I know you guys are spread out. It's a big county. You got a lot of ground to cover. How's the marijuana investigation issue? I mean, is that one thing to look at?
You know, we have people that work that every season, and what we need from them is to concentrate in Jackson County. And when we find those grows in Jackson County, we should absolutely eradicate them. And those guys do a great job of the investigation, locating them, and then it's usually mostly the SWAT team that do the eradication, and then a lot of times search and rescue personnel and people from corrections come and help us clean it up. So it's a full agency program, but it's important to stay within Jackson County. I think our resources need to stay here.
Budgeting issues, is it holding its own as far as budgeting is concerned? Have you had some cutbacks, or you threatened some cutbacks?
Well, not at this point. We're not looking at cutbacks. I think the way the economy is going and the way our general fund is going, we're looking pretty good for at least the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. But what I do want to focus on is when we don't have enough deputies out on the road, our crime rate for property crimes is going up. In fact, we're second per capita in the state for that type of crime, and I think we can do a better job just having people out there. Right now, we're not able, because of our staffing, to thoroughly investigate property crimes such as burglary or thefts and stuff. So a lot of those go unsolved, and you solve one of those and you solve a bunch of those, because the guy that did that, the criminal that did that, didn't just do that one burglary. He's done a bunch of them.
So how many patrols are out there on the landscape?
Well, ideally we should have 5 or 6 for county. I think that would be sufficient, but frequently we have you know, 3 or 4, and that happens all too often, and that's a hardship for all those guys because they don't have that time to thoroughly investigate the crimes they're called to, and they want to do that. They want to be able to throw the criminals in jail and get people's property back and make the community safer. These guys are dedicated to do that, but they can't at this point.
Recently, the Sheriff's Department was given I don't know if it's an award or maybe an additional responsibility with this child abduction. One of few in the country, right?
I think one of 20 or something.
What is that?
It's a child alert response system is what it is for a missing child. And it's basically Amber Alert. Okay. You heard that term, right?
Sure. Yeah, we have to carry it here as broadcasters.
So it's the Amber Alert system, and
does that
the Sheriff's Office is now designated as the handling agency for when there's an Amber Alert, basically.
Does that require additional staff?
No, it shouldn't, but it's just kind of a all hands on deck type thing when it happens.
Bob, in addition to wanting to have more patrol out there, is there any other areas that you'd like to see changed?
Yeah, we can. We have a lot of spending that we don't need to do.
Such as?
Equipment and services. Well, I've been a critic of this new tactical operation, and it's called the Antares system, which is a satellite communication system. We spent about $1.5 million on that. And
what's it do?
It's a communication system in case of a emergency, disaster. But it's, to be honest with you, it's untested, and we don't know if it's going to do what it's supposed to do. You know, we certainly need an emergency management system and a disaster plan and all that stuff. But I'm not so sure spending $1.5 million on a communication system is the right way to go.
Recently, they built the new facility out there on Highway 62. That seems to be an improvement. I mean, did that help operations?
Well, it certainly centralized us, and I want to stay positive, but there's issues with that location. It's you know, basically it's a decent location. A lot of that building is for vehicle storage, and for some reason we continually have to remodel it to house the emergency management people now. But there's other issues with that building, like I don't think it was well thought out as far as egress and ingress to that location. And at one point we tried to get a right-of-way over to Vilas, and so we didn't think it had the Winters wanted that location, and it didn't work out so well there.
All right, Bob, so people want to get a hold of you and ask more questions because, you know, the ballots are out.
Right.
I don't know, I would assume this is going to be a big weekend when they get turned in.
Yeah.
So how do they get a hold of you if you want more information?
I have a website,
okay.
BobSergi4Sheriff.com.
Bob Sergi.
And there's some contact information there,
okay.
Both a phone number and an email address.
Okay.
And anybody calls me or sends me an email, I'll be happy to answer the questions.
That's Bob Sergi, SERGI, for Sheriff.com. All right, thanks for coming in. Best to you.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.